are live. And
Live.
welcome back to another episode of the Baseline Bums podcast. It's your host, Rob, aka B-Ball Archives. And once again, I got the bum AJ up in the casa after a Spurs victory. We beat the Jazz for the second time this week. This one, obviously 17-point victory, but there's some mixed bags, some mixed feelings about it.
For
However you
sure.
slice it,
For sure.
let's just dive on in. How are you feeling when you think about this Jazz game tonight?
Well, we definitely miss Luke Cornett, like 100%. Luke Cornett was greatly missed in this game, and I knew he was greatly missed when I look up in the third quarter, and I texted you this. I said, "Do you see what our lineup is right now?" It was Keldon Johnson, Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox, Carter Bryant, and Jeremy Sohan. What I mean, that is an I have no Rob. I don't even have words for that lineup in the third quarter. And guess what? The Jazz came back in the third quarter. So I wonder if Mitch was like pulling at straws, trying to make something work. But we signed the guy. We're paying him a shit ton of money. He should go on 9-0 runs by himself and close out games. That's what we're paying him for. So De'Aaron Fox is a microwave, and we just came in and, you know, it's nice that we have that offense that can explode at any given moment to win games or to push us over the edge. But dude, this third quarter, I don't know how we can do it, but maybe we can skip third quarter and maybe do what they do in hotels, where it's like the 13th floor, but it's not the 13th floor. They just skip it to the 14th. And but you all know where you're staying.
Unfortunately, that's not an option. We have to address the third quarter struggles head on, and yeah, there was multiple points that I want to address that you brought up. First, I do have to mention the play for De'Aaron Fox tonight. Just absolutely aggressive from the start of the game. When you saw how he just went right into the teeth of the defense, and he was hitting a couple of good in rhythm threes, you knew that it was going to be a big night for him. And then when he really started to solidify the game late in the fourth quarter, hitting those three threes and had some really good drives. It just really, like you said, made you feel comfortable about paying this guy $50+ million a game if that's what the last 5 minutes of a really close fourth quarter is going to look like. So
For sure.
really good play from De'Aaron Fox. I loved that. But also, I do have to scratch my head a little bit about what Mitch Johnson was doing, because there was some interesting Jordan McLaughlin minutes.
In
I
the fourth.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was even questioning his minutes earlier on in the game, and then I see him again in the fourth quarter, and then he takes a ill-timed floater, misses that three-point shot, and I'm like, wow, that's back-to-back offensive possessions that were short offensive possessions and ended in a Jordan McLaughlin shot when it's the fourth quarter and it's a single-digit game. This is not a smart brand of offense right now.
They tied up the game. I mean, it was tied. I think it was tied at like 99, I want to say. And
Yeah.
also, dude, hey man, I need Harrison Barnes to do something. Like at the beginning of the season, it was great. He was carrying us. He was, averaging like 15 points a game. It was beautiful to watch. He coined the term Mr. 100%, and I absolutely love what he does off the court. But dude, on the court, I can't have you go 1 for 5. I can't have you go 0 for in the first half. I mean, it's getting concerning because I know he's unk, but like you're starting on our team. And if you're unk and you're coming off the bench, all right, different story. I can live with 1 for 5, but I mean, I can't, but I will. I need more from Harrison Barnes, man. Like I need more from our starting power forward when you're up against Wimby, and especially in a game where like this got really close. And dude, like I can't remember, if memory serves correctly, I think Harrison Barnes was able to help us in those third quarters.
Yeah. I mean, I think what we're talking about is causing the next problem. And
Right.
it's Harrison Barnes not being consistent on the offensive end over the last month or so, month plus. And that's really having it's putting a strain on Mitch Johnson, so he's having to kind of go into the bag deeper and play a couple of guys in some funky rotations where the lineup looks really strange, and all of a sudden you look up and it's Olynyk and Keldon and Harper, Fox and Bryant all out there at once, and it's like, okay, this is a really interesting lineup whenever the game is really competitive. But I think a lot of those answers would be solved if Harrison Barnes was just really hitting threes, because we would be able to play him 30 minutes. But no, tonight we can barely play him 22, and it just turns into a deep rotation night. And the game in the fourth quarter was scarier than it needed to be.
Right. And I texted you this, and I know I jumped the gun. I think I definitely spoke out of my ass a little bit on this one. I was like, I don't know if the Spurs can beat the Jazz in a 7-game series. Like I was like, I know I jumped the gun. I was like, you know what, AJ, calm down. Luke Cornett's not playing. If we had Luke Cornett, this might be a little different. Like, let's calm down. They're still like, I mean, this is a really competitive Jazz team that just matches up well with us. And when you're looking at guys like Ace Bailey going for 25 or Nurkic dropping 14 dimes, like those types of things scare me. And I know they're NBA players, but dude, like we can't be going toe to toe with the Jazz going like midway through the fourth quarter, and we need a superhero performance by De'Aaron Fox to get us out of the hole.
I agree. We should be handling the Jazz a little bit more solidly, but this is not a bad Jazz team. I know
No,
they don't have Laurie Markkinen, so they're missing one of their most dynamic producers on both sides, and they don't have Walker Kessler, their best rim protector. So they do have a lot of things that are out right now, but also we just saw Ace Bailey's career high. We
yeah,
just saw the most efficient basketball game he's ever played. And so when we see things like that and we were still able to overcome, I am not too upset at the fact that even though it was a little stressful in that fourth, we really turned it on. Multiple De'Aaron Fox threes, Wemby mid range, just solid defensive rebounding to just make sure they didn't have additional opportunities. That's just really good key veteran basketball. And I was proud to see it, even though we should have gotten it done even earlier than that.
yeah, dude. And shout out to Keldon Johnson again, dude. Another great game by KJ. And I'm looking at his shot chart. He went 1 for 4 on threes, but he went 9 of 19. All of his shots were in the paint. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Like, thank you. And he was finishing at the rim. I would say this game more than any games recently, I saw a lot of really, really good finishes at the rim. And I was very happy about that. I was like, thank God that we're showing ball and we're moving. We're trying to get around players. Dude, even Steph Castle had that one, I think it was in the fourth quarter, where he goes up and just kind of floats it almost like a finger roll, and it just dropped, like no touching of the net or anything. So I'm happy that we're getting to those buckets down low, but I still need like just more consistency from some of our players. Looking at some, like, obviously Wemby had a great game, Fox had a great game, but I need a little more from Dylan Harper, man. I just need more from Dylan Harper.
I mean, he only played 13 minutes tonight.
Yeah,
I don't think he really had the opportunity to get much going at all. It wasn't necessarily his game, but I do
right.
think we need to talk about Wemby and his play tonight, because such a big game from Wemby, 26 points, 13 rebounds, really efficient from three, a nice bounce back game. He went 0 for 7 against the Rockets, 4 for 7 tonight. So you love to see the bounce back play. And I just saw a crazy stat earlier. Wemby is already the all time NBA leader in 4 block, 4 3 games.
Oh,
It's
not
like,
bad for your third season.
right, like he's already had 4 threes and 4 blocks in enough games to where he's done it more than anyone else in NBA history. It's just crazy what we're seeing night in, night out from Wemby.
And what's funny is that I don't think we're falling really into that Tim Duncan type scenario where like you just look up and he has 20 and 10 every night and you're just not thinking anything of it. You're just like, oh, it's just another game for Tim Duncan, no big deal. But the fact that Wemby is like doing it on a every night, and every night I open up my phone and get on Twitter or I get on Instagram and there's another highlight from Wemby, and you're just like, dude, what am I watching? Because like he had that step back three, and I mean, everyone's jumping at that one now. Have you noticed that? That everyone's jumping at that little pump fake, and they're just flying past him, and he's just like, all right, let me just set my feet, let me sit my tee, let me just let that thing fly. And when he gets into that rhythm, good luck, man. Good luck.
And if you're a defender, you have to bite on that because if
Yeah.
he's had a first half where he's hit a couple of those threes, you absolutely having to close out on that. And you saw Nurkic kind of get burned on that a couple of times tonight, where he was kind of caught in no man's land midway in between closing out or playing drop coverage. And it was a situation where Wemby just had him cooked. And Wemby didn't even go to the basket all the times. There was one time where perfect pass to Champagny, three, perfect pass to Fox in the corner, nail the three. And so that he's turning into a distributor that's collapsing the defense and getting everyone else involved. So man, just yeah,
I
I love a lot
I
of
would
what I
love
saw tonight.
Yeah, I would love to see him get more assists though. I would love to see him get more, but I would say more times than not, it's the Spurs basketball way of playing. He's attracting the defense down low, kicking it out to the corner, and they're swinging it to the wing and they're hitting that shot. Or they're doing something because now that everyone's collapsed, Wimby checks out, and then you have one of our guards go downhill right to the basket. And that's a recipe for success. And one thing that I don't know if you saw this clip on social media yet, but Derek White was part of a podcast. I don't know what podcast I was shout them out, but some podcast,
Yes.
not
Yes.
ours, but he's always welcome on ours. Absolutely.
Yes.
Please come, Derek White. I would love to talk to you about CU basketball. So Derek White,
I saw these clips that you're talking
you know
about
what I'm
for
talking
sure.
about? Yeah.
Yes.
So one thing they were like, hey, what'd you learn from San Antonio that you took to Boston in order to get yourself a championship ring? And he was like, simple. Simple
Yes.
is what we need. Like you always want things to be simple. Like you have guys that have all this immense talent, and I'm paraphrasing here, all this immense talent, and they're dribbling back and forth, back and forth. But sometimes like just your simple passes, your simple shots, your everything, just keep it simple, wins games and wins you championships too. And I think sometimes like we definitely lose sight of just the simpleness of this game. And you look at the third quarter and you're like, just get to the basket, just get fouled. Let's have these conversations again. Two challenges threw off everything for the Spurs. Do you notice that again? Like I guess I guess the whiteboard notes on us is do two challenges in the third quarter and you're going to throw off the Spurs. Like it's
Well,
ridiculous.
I mean, I think that's a coincidence all in
Is this
itself.
coincidence? All right.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I'm
Let me get
not
my tinfoil hat.
yeah, I'm not reading into the challenge thing. Although I do think that there is something to the challenge where it's just like an additional long time out. So like it's kind of a weird chunk of time that a lot of players aren't used to, especially if it's a challenge where it takes like a couple of minutes for them to figure it out and it's not just super cut and dry. So there could be something to it where we just kind of lull a little bit and then, kind of lack a little bit of urgency coming out of that challenge. But I do
Yeah.
want to bring up this comment. Thoughts on running the offense through Castle and not Fox? Castle spams the same two moves every time. I agree. I think that we do need to have a healthy amount of Fox and Wemby pick and roll, Fox and Wemby pick and pop, and various kind of high sort of high screens, maybe even like a Spanish motion offense. I would love to see something like that, but at the same time, we're gonna see a lot of Castle running the
Yep.
offense. So it's
I'll
yeah,
go ahead.
it's just really like which lineup makes sense, who's in foul trouble, who has the hot hand. But I agree, Castle maybe is running the show a bit too much.
Still dropped 8 dimes, so it's not bad. It's just yeah, he does kind of have that same move. And then one thing I've noticed too that Castle does is when the shot clock's going down and he's going downhill and he stops, and it kind of feels like he's kind of panicking for a second. And he's like, all right, I can't pass, can't do anything. I'm kind of trapped. Fadeaway jumper. And like he makes them more times than not. But for me, that's like not a great shot. I think, don't pick up your dribble when you're 10 feet away from the basket. Like just keep going. So that's kind of one of my things that I've noticed that Castle likes to do is just stop, and then just kind of hit that fadeaway, which, I mean, like I said, he makes it more times than not. But for me, I would love to see him just get more downhill. And dude, that dunk he had today to kind of seal the game, he dunked it so hard he couldn't even land on his feet. It was insane. I was
Right.
like, hey, first of all, don't get hurt. Like, calm down. You can just
Right.
lay it up next time. No big deal.
Right. I mean, yeah, that tomahawk dunk looked fantastic, but yeah, Sean Elliott said it. Yeah, he needs to work on the landing. So
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. We don't want to see Steph Castle just
Maybe,
power dunk his way into an injury.
maybe when he drops his new shoes, it's going to show like, hey, now I got my own signature shoe. I'm going to be able to land perfectly every single time. It's actually going to, science is going to stop his momentum and he's going to land like a little pillow.
Dude, that would be a good marketing campaign right there. Just like little landing on a little pillow. Just Steph Castle. We be landing on
Dude,
pillows.
it would be like the Princess in the Pod, but like because it's the castle. Or anyway, it's late. I'm not going to go into it.
Absolutely. But I do think that we do need to glaze Julian Champagny a little bit as
Of
well.
course.
I think that he has been so consistent with his three-point shooting, and in fact, since the new year, no one in the entire NBA has made more threes than Julian. So we really have to understand that he has blossomed into our best, most consistent
Yep.
shooter and an invaluable member of this team when you look at
Yep.
his rebounding most nights and just the fact that he's a sneaky good defender at times. Had a really good block tonight and gives really good effort. So man, he's really worked his way into being an invaluable member of our rotation while being a really good financially
Yeah. What I was
lucrative
going to say,
contract.
what's his contract look like right now? Because I have a feeling we're not going to be able to afford him after this contract, which sucks, but I'm really happy he's going to get paid because he definitely deserves it. He's way better than his brother. Let's be real. But,
Yes.
but dude, the confidence he has in his 3-point shot right now is like something we saw Danny Green have in like, was it 2013 where he broke the record? I think it was like,
I
or was it
think yes.
2014?
No, it, wa-
2013.
it was it was 2014. I want to say.
Was yeah. So was it when we won? I can't remember. It was one of those years where we were in the finals, and dude, Julian Champagny was is in that kind of same category for me with the way Danny Green was. Like just when he releases the ball, it's like it's so pure, and he's so confident when he shoots it. And also, what I love what he does when he's in the corner is I'm sure the play is drawn up like this. He catches the ball like outside of his body, and then he's so long that he's able to bring it in and take that shot. So the defender just goes right past him, and he's able to hit that corner three. And I think he does that in such a beautiful way. And just that shot is pure, man. And I want him to shoot it more. Obviously he has to go to the 3-point contest, right? Like that's the next step.
I think that's where we should see him, and it really makes sense when you see his consistency, his 3-point shooting percentage. It really feels like he needs to be there, involved in that weekend for that contest. But yeah, I'm right there with you. He's just really such a solid shooter and such a good floor spacer for what we got going on. He's just really worked himself into such a meaningful role, and yeah, I'm fully sold on him, and even if he's a guy that, ends up really increasing his value, we can't re-sign him because it doesn't make sense financially. I'll still root for him because man,
Yeah.
he's put in so much work for this team right now, and yeah, we would not be second in the
If
West without him.
if we end up making a deep playoff run is because Julian Champagne's averaging like 17, 18 points a night.
Well, we need those X factor guys. Like
Yeah.
we
Oh
rely on
yeah.
our depth so much, and whether it's guys like Keldon Johnson, like we glazed him a little bit earlier, but let's glaze him some more right now. A nice 21 points off the bench right now, and was getting into the teeth of the defense. Those little like bump,
Yep.
spin, little baby hooks. He was
Boom.
doing those. Dude, absolutely. Those little Euro step, create contact, finish, and then he had that little Euro step, and then he went under.
Yeah.
It went under the arms, and then after that, Sean Elliott coined it bully ballet. After that, he was like, "That looked like bully ballet," and I was like, "What the heck?" But you know what? It kind of made sense. So uh, that really capped off a good 10-0 run right there. So
Mhm.
really, really good offense from Keldon.
Yeah, bald Keldon, I think everyone should go bald.
I mean, good luck getting like Vassell and Castle to go bald. They would never.
Do you think Kelly Olynyk will cut off those luscious locks?
Yeah, I think Kelly would. I think like Cornette would. I think there's a number of guys on the team that would, but
Yeah. Did did we find out what's going on with Cornette? Does he have the squirts, or like does he just want to play altitude sickness? What's going? Do we know what happened? It
it
said
was a
illness, right?
it was an adductor strain. It was
Oh,
it
was it?
was yeah, it was just resting. It wasn't an actual injury. It was just resting. So
Dope. All right.
it sounds like if it was like an injury, then yeah, I would be kind of worried about it. But it sounds like it's going to be 1 or 2 games, and then he's going to be back in the lineup. So yeah,
Well, I'm happy about this win. Again, not pretty, but we did what we needed to do. We went into Utah, got the W. Watching the what's it called? The Jazz Arena telecast is so different than San Antonio. Dude, like that crowd is hyped up on Diet Mountain Dew. Like that thing it is an interesting place to be. I think I saw one person of color in the crowd.
that
Um,
makes sense. I mean, I would be I'd be terrified of all the Mormon activity there as well.
yeah, I think, and also I saw the mascot like pour popcorn on this guy with the Spurs jersey. I'm like, that's not a Spurs fan. He is way too white. Like he like definitely not a Spurs fan. And he was like, "Ugh." I'm like, we would never do that. We'd fight the fucking mascot. Like we'd be like San Antonio, and like as we're doing it.
Right. Absolutely.
quick dunk on that song. God damn, it's going stuck in my head now.
Absolutely. But yeah, there was a lot to like about the game tonight, about the win versus the Jazz. Something that would get me jazzed up is if we just kind of kept this going. If we just, you know, built some momentum off this. Obviously, we have a very winnable game coming up. We play the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
That Pelicans game is Sunday. Yes, that's on Sunday. And then we got the
Relaxing Sunday.
Rockets.
That's nice.
Yeah, so we got some time off. We got some
Like
good
it.
time off, and
Or
hopefully
they're
we
gonna
can
need it. I don't know if they're gonna be able to get home.
right. I mean, that's a good point. We're gonna be facing some pretty intense weather. Hopefully, yeah, no one gets frozen in. We know this Texas grid is pretty crazy, so hopefully everything is all right, and hopefully you have your plan from Solar Scouts.
Yeah, this is the time where you really need solar. Like, I know that Nick posted something on Solar Scouts, their Instagram of saying, "Hey, my neighbor, his power went out, but I have solar panels on my roof. My power never went out, and my family and I are just hanging out, and my neighbors are over now too. So, like, solar goes a long way."
It does. And yeah, and thankfully they're a sponsor of the podcast. So hit up solarscouts.com/bums. Figure out how to get yourself some clean, reliable solar energy. Get yourself a good backup for your team, especially when the grid goes down, which it
Get
might.
yourself a Luke Cornett solar panel on your roof.
Right. Get yourself a humongous white guy on your roof. No,
Yeah,
I'm just
speaking
kidding.
of humongous white guys, so Rob, I texted you something earlier. I kind of want to just touch on just a little bit. I think at some point we're going to see Drew Timmy in a San Antonio Spurs uniform. And I think he's one of those underrated big men. I mean, he was great in college. I just didn't see him translating too much into the NBA. But I also feel like he's never really gotten his shot at the NBA. Like being with the Knicks and kind of being in that G League two-way contracts. I think he's with the Lakers right now or something to that effect. So I wouldn't hate it. I think he's one of those guys that just between the years, he understands the game and he can be like kind of our um diet Luke Cornett, if you will. Just a guy that come in, grab rebounds, make blocks. You have six fouls. Feel free to use all of them. But just one of those guys that, you know, if we have Bismack Biombo on our team and he just kind of taking up pine, I would like to see someone a little younger that we can maybe polish up a little bit. So here in the next 3-4 years, then he can kind of be in that rotation. But you know, that's just my 2 cents. I don't know if we're ever going to see it, but he would make a good Spur.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. And I think I agree with you when I'm saying that, or when I'm seeing a void. And that void is that third front court option because, you know, Olynyk is too slow on defense to really fill that void perfectly. Sohan doesn't really fill those small ball five responsibilities as well as he really needs to. Bismack is slow and kind of old, and I don't want to hate on Bismack, but he just really can't get it done like he used to. So there's really a void in a sense that, you know, when Luke Cornett sits out like he did tonight, there was just a clear gap.
Yeah.
And Drew Timmy could be a guy that fills that gap, so to speak. I know this season he really hasn't played a whole lot, but like he's played some, but he's a guy that can hit some shots and he's a good connective piece on offense and I like him. I don't necessarily love his defense, so I think that he would be similar to Kelly Olynyk, but he has the youth and the upside to where
Right.
we could grow him into something else. So
Wasn't he like
ultimately,
national college player of the year or something like that too?
yeah, I mean,
All American, all
he
that
was a
stuff. Yeah.
bucket. He was an absolute bucket, putting up 20 and 10. Really, really great player in college, but like also reminded me a lot of like, you know, those guys like Tyler Hansbrough, where it's like you're
It
just
works in college.
it works in college. You're a little bit undersized for what we need from that position in the NBA, and it just doesn't fully translate. But if you put in some really good work, you can still be a good rotation player, and I think that could be him.
I see that he did have on January 17th, Timmy posted a career high with the team scoring 21 points and with 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals, 29 minutes. Like, you know, like I'm not saying like we go out and like trade for him now or anything, but you know, down the road that, you know, someone like that I think is who we need on this team.
I agree. I mean, I think that there is some good opportunity to kind of get some youth in our front court when because when you look at Olynyk, you look at Biombo, not exactly a lot of long-term upside there. So
Right.
I think we're probably going to make a move off one of them sooner rather than later, bring in somebody
Yeah,
in their mid 20s and
for sure.
try to get the our timelines matching up a little bit more, so to
I got
speak.
another name for you that we're not going to get him back, I should say. Dominic Barlow, dude, he would be the kind of guy that I would love to have back on this team. Just a young, long, bouncy kid. I mean, I don't know how bouncy he is after his hip injury right now, but regardless, he's done wonders for the 76ers. So I would love to see him come back in the Spurs. We just need that young, youthful big man that we typically have on our team. And you know, maybe there's someone on the G League team that I'm not thinking of right now, but at some point we're going to have to address it, especially if we're getting not a lot of production from Harrison Barnes. So at some point it's going to happen. Whether we make it, I don't think we're going to do anything in the trade deadline. unless we're brought into a major deal just to throw in some cash in a pick and get rid of Jeremy Sohan or something. So, that's the only way I see us doing any kind of trades. But did you see this news today that Anthony Davis and Rich Paul said to the Mavericks they want to be traded next week?
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's been a lot of Anthony Davis rumors over the past couple of weeks, past month really.
Yeah.
And so if those rumors are kind of leaking out, that there's got to be some nuggets of truth to them somewhere. And so
Where'd he
now
go?
I don't know. It wouldn't shock me if he went to a team like the Wizards, a team that just took a gamble and got Trey Young on a cheaper deal than a lot of people thought, didn't really have to give up all that much. It seems like a team that could take a gamble, and if they're like, "Hey, we just got our point guard for the next 5 years, we can have Anthony Davis for the next few years and try to make a swing at something in the East," and I could see them doing something like that because they have some good talented young pieces with Alex Sarr and Bub Carrington and Bilal Coulibaly. They have some interesting youth, and when you look at those 2 guys, I could see a team like that potentially doing it.
How are the hospitals and the doctors in DC? Are they good? Can they fix Anthony Davis?
I mean, I don't even know if presidential status doctors could fix his ass.
Who's Trump using as his doctor? Because he needs to tell Anthony Davis, best, healthiest NBA player I've ever met.
Oh, I'm sure he's using the best doctors humanly possible. Like literally, no one uses doctors as good as him.
Dude, I think that's interesting. I think we'll see a lot of fireworks. We'll see what happens here in the next week or so when the deadline comes closer and closer. But yeah, I don't think we're doing anything on the trade deadline unless it's to like just move some money here and there. But for the most part, like I need this team to I think next year, we're going to see some changes in the offseason. I would love to see Harrison Barnes back, but I don't want him starting at this point, unless he can bring back to what he was doing in early in the season. Until then, get in the gym, work on your shot, stay safe, everyone. We got some pretty hardcore snow coming in. Apparently, we'll see. It wouldn't have surprised me to wake up on Saturday and it's fucking 80. Like it really wouldn't. We live in Texas. But Rob,
It would shock me. It would shock me if it was not blizzardy most of the
well,
weekend, but yes.
I do have a blind rank for you.
Ooh, give me this
So,
blind rank. Yeah.
so we played in Utah, Salt Lake City tonight, right? Park City is 30 minutes away from Salt Lake City. Rob, do you know of a film festival that's very popular from Park City?
Sundance.
Sundance Film Festival. Rob, we're going to blind rank these 5 Sundance Film Festival movies.
Let's do it.
All right. We're going to start with number 1. It's a cult classic, as they say. Weird ass movie. Actually, I want to say you and I might have seen this movie together when we were kids. We're going to start with Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay, Napoleon Dynamite is an independent filmmaking experience. Like I really do think that that's an example of what to do when you don't have a big budget, but you have an interesting story to tell and you have a director who has a very specific vision on how to get there. So I think I like the film in its essence a lot, and I think it was very quotable, but I also think it's not a film I'm wanting to go back and rewatch that much. I have to be
Right.
brutally honest about that. So I think while I do like it, I probably have to put it at 4.
4. Okay, that's a good number. That's a good number. All right, man. Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, Reservoir Dogs is the start of Quentin Tarantino's career. I mean, it literally
The
is
masterpiece.
It literally is an entire film that describes an event, that describes an encounter. You're not even there, but yet the way it's described and the story that brings you in, you feel as if you're there when, Mr. Pink is talking about what Mr. White's doing, and you have such great performances. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to put Reservoir Dogs at 1 for me. Uh
Yeah, makes sense.
just because that's yeah, Tarantino, you see so much of his visual language in that film.
What kind of language, Rob? No,
I mean,
that
he uses a
that
lot of
quotable.
specific language, but I'm talking about, like, visual language, like his
Yeah, 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 I
filmmaking
got you. I got you.
techniques, yeah.
It's a beautiful movie. It really is. Um, Get Out, a more recent film.
I mean, Get Out is a technical marvel. There is so many
Such a good
great
movie.
Dude, there is so many great moments in that, and I watched a lot of behind the scenes of Get Out and how they shot it. They shot it on, like, these Optimo zoom lenses, which are, like, really convenient because you don't lose any optical quality, and they're still really, really fast lenses, so you can change focal lengths very quickly, get additional shots, and still perform very well in low light situations. So it was like I loved the choices they made technically for that movie, and I to me, brilliant story as well. It really had me rattled the whole time, so I think I'm gonna probably put Get Out as, like, a strong 3.
Strong three. Nice. Well, I will say, after I watched Get Out, I think I texted like a handful of my friends every time I went to go hang out with like my wife and her family. I was like, hey man, heads up. I'm gonna be at this place for this time. If I don't hit you up by like 9:30, like call me, because I watched Get Out and I'm not too comfortable around other people now.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable around these whites.
One of my personal favorites, me personally, like this might be my favorite film of like the 2000s, I want to say, but I also have a very uh interesting connection with it. For me, this, like I said, might be my favorite movie of the 2000s, Whiplash.
Oh, yeah, Whiplash is great. The
Miles
way
Teller became like one of my favorite actors in that movie, man.
Dang, Whiplash. Dude,
As a drummer, Rob.
that wait, so that's the next film up is Whiplash?
Yeah, Whiplash.
Oh my gosh, J.K. Simmons, one of the best performances, honestly reminds me of, like, some of the really tough coaches I've had over the years where it's just like everything you're doing isn't enough, like, you're just giving, 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 and they're still just like, "All right, we're so far from where we need to be," and it's just like, damn, it just feels like you're just getting beaten to a pulp, and absolutely brilliant film. I feel very solid putting this at number 2.
At number 2, nice, nice,
Yeah.
perfect. Dude, it was one of those things because I was a huge band nerd when I was in high school, and I was definitely a part of the band group when I was in college. And so when this film came out, I was like, "Holy shit, like, I know exactly what's going on right now and how this all works," because, like, you have some intense instructors during that time, and I would hear from the Texas Tech, like, School of Music, how intense those professors were and, like, what's expected. So I will say to the audience, if you're out there and you were taught by a band director who went to Texas Tech, you got a hell of an education. They weren't just teaching you like why the fingers are the fingers, but they were teaching you like music patterns and why this is the way that the composer did things like that. So for me, it was a fantastic movie. J.K. Simmons, Miles Teller, when he throws a cymbal at him, I'm like, oh my god, like insane. So yeah, great film. All right, last
Absolutely.
one, which is going to be your number 5, Clerks.
Okay. Clerks, honestly, I'm very cool with that being number 5. A very fun movie, a very rewatchable classic, Kevin Smith, like such a
Beers,
lovable
beers,
filmmaker
beers.
and has a really good like he has a good visual language as well. Like you know you're watching a Kevin Smith movie whenever you're seeing it. So but still a guy that I feel like kind of he has some swings and misses throughout his career. So
Sure. Oh yeah.
I think I think I'm fine with Clerks being 5. I think that's a pretty good list.
So your list is Reservoir Dogs 1, Whiplash 2, Get Out 3, Napoleon Dynamite 4, and Clerks 5. I think this might have been your best blind rank. And you nailed this in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't hate it at all.
No, it was fun. And there's obviously like there's a whole bunch of other movies that I saw too, but do you know what the budget of Clerks was?
Oh, it's next to nothing because they filmed it at the place they worked. They used like family friends as actors. Like, I mean, it would surprise me if it was 6 figures. It probably wasn't.
No,
Yeah.
it was $27,000,
Oh yeah, dude. I've, you know,
which is crazy because that movie made so much money.
yeah, I just worked on a reality TV show and it was a super indie reality TV show and it was 5 times that budget. So it's
It's insane.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy what you can do with little money. And that was
Little
shot on
money, a
film.
little YouTube, little iPhone, nothing crazy. At least
Absolutely.
that's what they tell us in the commercials.
Dude, that was a solid blind rank, my dude.
I knew you would like that one for sure.
Yeah. Anytime we can incorporate some film in there, I'm always pumped. And I had a good conversation with our buddy Austin from Roundball Renaissance recently, and that conversation is going to drop in a few days. And
All right.
and we got to talk about some film stuff and how it correlates to narratives and basketball and things like that. So I'm excited for that as well. Um, but yeah, dude, do you have some dunks that you wanna get to? Are you feeling dunky?
I do have a dunk.
Ooh,
I have a great dunk too. It's something that I saw during the game today.
okay.
I'm going to dunk on Devin Vassell's pants. Did you see these things?
I
Did you see
did.
these things?
I did.
Dog, they were like Janko jeans, bell bottom, like black that faded into like khaki that went back to gray. I don't know, man. And I guess it's style. I'm not a stylish person. I'm wearing a sweatshirt and a Spurs hat. So like this dude was wearing like some Janko jeans type stuff. Like you, you've seen Undercover Brother, right?
Yeah.
So you know
Yes.
at the very end when he's like coming down his parachute pants, that's what they look like on the court. And I'm like, Devin, like I know you got the money, you got style, but I don't know what those pants were, man. Like Janko jeans, but like Louis Vuitton. I have no idea, dude. I don't know. But dunk on those jeans because I think you should just turn around and burn those immediately.
Oh, dude, I won't even begin to pretend to understand fashion trends nowadays. People will have sweaters on that look 5 times too big and then have the skinniest pants I've ever seen simultaneously, all in the same fit. And I'm like, what is happening right now? So I
Yeah.
think just the state of fashion in general needs to get dunked on. And and that's a solid dunk in general because it just leaves my head scratching because I it makes me feel like I don't even know what looks good.
What's funny is, yeah, Devin Vassell looking all dripped out in his I guess his gear. And then you have like Luke Cornett that I think
And
was
his
wearing
jeans.
warm-ups.
No, he's
Like
wearing
he was wearing
jeans.
his sweatshirt and like I guess sweatpants or something. Maybe he's wearing jeans. I don't know. But I mean, it was just like you're sitting there going, maybe they should bring back the dress code
Hey, I don't know. I think the dress code existed for an important reason, but then now
for
players.
Allen Iverson.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, and Mellow a little bit, a couple other dudes that were, you know, taking it to a certain degree, but at the same time, yes, it's
What's your dunk, Rob?
dude, I have to dunk on pause screens, and I know I did this earlier. I did this dunk not too long ago, but I need to redunk on this because I experienced a pause screen that was so aggressive that I paused the show I was watching, and then it took me to a different page when I was paused for more than 5 minutes. So it took me away from my show and then started playing a series of ads, and I was absolutely flabbergasted, and I'm not.
What app?
I believe this was Amazon Prime, but
Oof.
it was, I think it was, I was watching like Paramount Plus through Amazon Prime, because you can have like,
They're all intertwined, and you're paying triple, and you don't even know it.
right, exactly. And so it's, and so I don't even know exactly what I was watching at that time, but at the same time, I know it took me away and took me to an ad on a completely different screen that I had to not only cancel out of, but then go find the show I was watching previously. And I was like, dude, that
And then
is,
you press play, and there's fucking ads.
yep. And I was like,
Yeah.
that is beyond deceptive. That is downright fucking shisty.
Yeah, man. I miss the good old days of like not having to worry about ads and whatnot whenever you were actually like paying for your services and whatnot. Like, dude, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Just
Yeah.
stop. Hulu is pissing me off. Like, we don't pay for ads, and we're getting ads. Come on. Like, how much more money do you want? Like, this is, I mean, I get we're in a capitalist society, and like that's how we make money, and that's what we have to do. I understand that, but like at some point, the consumer, like as consumers, we need to stand up and be like, y'all, stop it. I'm going to Tubi.
Right. Yeah. Free. I have a movie on Tubi right now, Weed Hacker Massacre. Go watch it.
Oh, is it on Tubi?
I think it is on Tubi right now.
Nah, I'm gonna go watch it now.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it might still be. I'm not sure. I actually need to go check myself, but yeah, it's a very stupid movie. So understand that for anyone going
It's
into it.
it's on
Enjoy.
Tubi.
But that being
If it's on Tubi.
if it's on Tubi, it's probably got boobies. No,
I did see an ad or a movie on Tubi. I think it was during October, and it was like some kind of drag queen Halloween massacre like movie, and I'm like, what? Who who wrote this script? Who approved it? And who shot it? And how did you get these people to do it? But hey, it was a great movie.
you
I
know,
enjoyed it.
yeah, sometimes those crazy stories make enjoyable movies, but
It's amazing what you
yeah,
can do with hairspray.
facts. But everybody, if you are still here, if you're still listening to these dunks and us rant about filmmaking, if you heard that blind rank and heard me ranking some Sundance movies, if you heard us do the full breakdown of the
Break it
Spurs
down.
Jazz games earlier, then we really appreciate you for being here. This podcast would not be the same without you. We not only love you, but we love you hard over here.
Hard.
All of this is brought to you by Love You Hard TV and the great people over at the In the Building podcast. Mike, Rudy, Jose, everyone over there. Shout out to those guys. If you're not following them, you should be following them right now. And you know, that being said, this whole community, this whole Spurs basketball, we love to be covering it. But it literally would not be the same without you being here. Whether you're watching the lives on YouTube, you're watching the clips on Instagram or TikTok, wherever you're consuming the podcast, if you're following along on Apple Podcasts, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, we really appreciate you. This community would not be the same without you. And it really, really means the world to us when you guys come in here, you comment, you like, you share, you do all that fun stuff. And it just literally means the world to us. Absolutely, Noel. Love you hard, boys. Absolutely. Much love to you, my dude.
Speaking of love, Rob. Speaking of love, we gotta talk about it.
Okay. Are
We
you are
will
you are you talking about the
be
game? The
we
game?
will be at the Magic game on Sunday, February 1st at 3 p.m. We will be at that game. You will see us. We'll be there in the building. So I am going to just say this out loud, put it in the universe. Hey, Jackals, your baseline bums boys want to come hang out with you for a quarter or two. We know the chants. We can go dollar, dollar, dollar 210. That's my favorite. If you could let me lead that, I will not. I will yell, scream. I will take my shirt off like Bert Kreischer if you want me to. I do not care. I am so excited to go to this game. I'm excited to hear the Jackals live. I'm excited to bet $100 on the dot races with Rob. Like, we're gonna drink some beers. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna high five, and hopefully that we come out with the win against the Magic. So we will see you guys February 1st at the Spurs game. Jackals, holla at your boys.
Absolutely. Yeah. And not only that, but we will have some merch to give away. I'm going to have some of these Baseline Bums podcast hats to give away for anyone that wants to come up and talk to us. Anybody that just wants to say, "Hey," either hop in a video, give us a handshake, whatever, just to be supportive. We're going to be there with some free merch. We're going to hook you up and say what's up, and we'll go all watch a Spurs game together. Hell
Woo.
yeah. Absolutely. Very, very pumped. But that being said, we're gonna hop off here and end this episode the same way we end all episodes, and that's with a go
Go Spurs.
Spurs, a
Go.
go.
Bring back the silver.